Good day. We bring you the latest updates from the Pna Newsroom. European businessman lauds President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. for his commitment to the initiatives on regional economic integration. Despite his very tight and exhausting trip, Marcos soldiered on, personally relaying his message to prospective investors. The executive director of European Chamber of Commerce in the Philippines, Florian Gotten, said European businessman commended Marcos for attending the C-suite luncheon with European business leaders and for acknowledging its importance as trade and investment partner. He said European business leaders reacted very positively to Marcos' call for more European investments in the country and for more support on climate action issues. Meanwhile, DTA Undersecretary Seferino Rodolfo said top European leaders were impressed because the president valiantly and heroically soldiered on by attending all the meetings despite catching colds. In his speech, Marcos said the EU-ASEAN Business Council continues to play a crucial role in advancing ASEAN's regional economic integration and post-pandemic economic recovery efforts. He also thanked them for their continued support and engagement with ASEAN. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. steps up the country's ties with the Netherlands and the Czech Republic. On the sidelines of the ASEAN-EU Commemorative Summit in Brussels, Belgium, a bilateral meeting was held between Marcos, Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte, and Czechia Prime Minister Peter Fiala. In a statement, officer in charge of the Office of the Press Secretary Undersecretary Teloy Garafi said that Marcos and Rutte agreed to bolster Manila and Amsterdam's relations, particularly in defense and water management. Marcos is also invited to participate in 2 conferences in Netherlands next year to discuss artificial intelligence and water management. Marcos said this would be very useful as the Philippines is among the ASEAN countries most affected by extreme climate events. Meanwhile, Marcos sought the assistance of the Czechia in the transfer of technology in the defense sector to beef up the defense production abilities of the AFP. Spanish President Pedro Sánchez Pérez Castejón has vowed to provide support to help strengthen the dialogue in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Pérez Castejón made the commitment during the bilateral talks with President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on the sidelines of the ASEAN-EU Commemorative Summit in Brussels, Belgium. The Spanish president described the Philippines as priority country for its assistance programs, as it pledged various initiatives for lasting peace in the southern Philippines. Marcos recalled his work in the Senate in hopes of creating an autonomous political entity to end decades of conflict and poverty in the southern Philippines. The 2 leaders also agreed to strengthen Manila and Madrid's bilateral relations, especially with the strong and historic ties between the 2 cities. In news overseas, the World Health Organization hopes to end COVID-19's status as a global health emergency in 2023, nearly 3 years after its outbreak. The WHO's Emergency Committee on COVID-19 will discuss the criteria for declaring an end to the emergency phase in January. The criteria includes epidemiology, variants like Omicron, and the impact of the virus. The WHO said the COVID-19 was here to stay and countries would need to manage it alongside other respiratory illnesses. WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus meanwhile said they have urged China to share their data on the origins of the virus. The first cases of the COVID-19 were recorded in Wuhan, China in December 2019. That's the latest and the biggest stories from the Pna Newsroom. For more news content, visit our webpage or head on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. We're also shown on the social media pages of the Office of the Press Secretary and Radyo Pilipinas RP1. Stay tuned for more news updates. I'm Stephanie Sevillano. We tell stories that inspire change.